Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new Facebook Live program here on our social media platform from the RVR headquarters in Italy. I'm very happy to have this live program in English today, since I really hope you can share this video as much as you can in your own social media profile with other engineers and people involved in radio broadcast. My name is Matteo Castagnoli. Today with me, we are not going to fly virtually to any place in the world talking with clients or distributors, since we are going to remain in our factory. We are going to have a technical conversation with our customer service department. So we are going to put our hands in a 2 kilowatt unit, the TEX2000LIGHT. And as you see on the title, we are going to show you step by step how you can replace by your own the power supplies in the unit. And as well, we're going to talk technically about many things involved in the unit, in maintenance. So with me today, we are going to have link here, Giulio Becciani from the customer service department in Italy. Thank you so much, Giulio, for being with us.
Hello, Matteo. Hello, everyone. Thank you for calling me.
So, Giulio, you are one of the technical guys working in our company and putting the hands in everything related to production, maintenance, customer service, technical stuff. So that's the reason because we call you just to talk about our unit, the TEX2000LIGHT. We're going to see in graphics right now. It's a 2 kilowatt compact FM transmitter we manufacture since long time. So, Giulio, which are the main features of this unit? What you can say about the units, just to introduce this transmitter to the person that are following us here on this live program.
Okay, the TEX2000LIGHT is a compact 2 kilowatt transmitter, complete one, and it's smaller. It's small like the TEX1KW we have produced and we produce for a long time. So we succeeded to fit everything inside the same package to have 2 kilowatt. And everything is inside. I mean the coder stereo, and it has many features. If you want, we could discuss. And it has a 716 output connector, and also various audio inputs if you want to use the left and right, and so use the stereo coder inside, or use MPX and SCA inputs to broadcast so the what you want. I mean,
yeah. So my question is, how powerful is the unit in case like people is going to install the transmitter in very hot place or in very high altitudes? How's the technical the technical project? How much is reliable this transmitter?
Well, it's a strong unit. It has a strong ventilation, so you could use it also in not good environments, like hot places, or maybe also in higher on mountains. It's no problem, and so it's okay to use it in a harsh environment.
So you can recommend this unit to be used everywhere in the world. There's no restriction. It can be installed mostly everywhere.
Yes, I always suggest to use them in a nice way. I mean, because I see, being in charge of the repairs in RVR, I see so many equipments. So they work in a not good environment, but using them in a good place with good temperature, good humidity, so they live longer. I mean, because dust and humidity are the worst enemies for the equipments.
Okay, so we know we have shipped worldwide thousands of these units. They're for real, installed mostly everywhere in the world.
Yes.
And do you think the fan and the technical project has been designed to be rock solid for many years, or it's a unit that can last just a couple of years?
No, No, absolutely not. So they are engineered to last a lot of years, and because they're strong, they have a good ventilation, a good heat sink to lower the temperature. They have strong power supply, so bigger than the needs, so they could last for more time.
Okay, so I want to say hello to all the people that are like connecting at this time. So people from Bolivia, people from like many places, Philippines, Latin America, United States. So we're having a lot of people today. You can ask, you can write questions directly here on the Facebook chat, and we're gonna ask to Giulio to reply to some of these questions. I do have one personal question. So could you tell us something about efficiency, about how many MOSFET the unit says, more information, like technical information that most of the people probably doesn't know because they're not using this unit.
Yes. So the equipment use 3 LD MOSFETs, is the Freescale model, the 6VP11, and so they give a lot more power than needed. So normally with this equipment you could have 2.2 kilowatt easily. But we build it to deliver 2 kilowatts, so you have a little margin if you want. And the MOSFET being more powerful, so they work in, they're not at the maximum, so they will last longer. And about the power supply, it has only a single power supply because of space, but it's strong. It delivers about 65 amps, and a power factor corrector as all our equipments. Then there is the service power supply, but it's the same we use in all our equipment of 3 units 8. And if you want, I could show, because I have the equipment here, so I could show the various parts composing the equipment if you want, Matteo.
Yes, we're going to take a look to the unit. Yeah. So physically, you are going to show us how to replace the power supplies. So por los amigos que nos están escuchando desde América Latina y que hablan español, esta Facebook Live es en inglés, y por la razón que así más gente pueda compartir este video, que será un video muy técnico, donde Giulio del Departamento de Soporte Técnico nos mostrará cómo cambiar las fuentes de poder. So we are going to show how you can change the power supply on the TEX2000LIGHT today. So it will be very important to take a look exactly to the step-by-step. So here we're gonna see the unit. So thank you, Giulio, for bringing the units from our production center. So before like showing how to replace the power supply, could you tell us something about what you're looking? So what kind of components we are having in the units?
Yeah, so this is the internal part, the upper part of the equipment. So you have this is the power supply unit region. Okay, that's better. Where you could see that's the power supply, that's the power factor corrector. Here on the back there is like this. This one is the surge box where the AC power is connected, and there are the filters inside to avoid to protect the equipment. And you see the 3 wires in output. They are going, these 3 wires goes to the PFC here, to the PFC, and the other 2 wires are going down to the service power supply. So you see, we are looking at how to change those 2 pieces today, because many people asking me for service, normally they don't do it in the right way, because all the big power supply we use, they are connected to a heat sink for thermal dissipation. So people sometimes do not know this, and they remove them from the upper side. But you have to remove them from the lower side, because they have to be together with their heatsink, because we use special mica isolators. So if you remove them and something like dust or dirt, something goes inside, but you reinstall them, they will cause to blow the MOSFETs or the component.
Okay, so the operation are important.
Yes.
Since, like, if they are not following the right step, the machine could burn out.
Not burn out, but when you reinstall everything, for example, you do a repair, or you change the power supply wrongly, so removing only the boards, not the heatsink, you separate the two things, and they have to be together, and pay attention not to, so when you reinstall them, to put in place everything. It's not easy from here. It's easier when you do on a bench, because we do it. So the result is, when you switch the equipment on, the power supply will blow again, because something happened. You made some short circuit, probably not all the times, of course, but it's better also for people. Maybe they receive the spare part, so they remove the power supply from the heatsink, the new one, and install it in the old one. That's wrong, absolutely wrong. And then they call me, okay, it's not working. So that's a problem, not only for the spare, but also to the timings to send another one, have back the faulty one, so also the customer gets upset.
Okay, so thank you everyone for being connected today. The title of this program is Pimp My RVR. We're going to give many tips and many tricks on how to replace power supplies on the TEX2000LIGHT directly by yourself, but following exactly the steps provided by our customer service department. So today we're going to have Giulio Becciani here with me, showing you all the operation. As well, we're going to talk about maintenance. I want to thank all the people from North and South America being with us. It's early in the morning over there, and as well people on the Asian side of the world, since it's late night. So thank you to both continents, and as well people from Africa that are directly writing us here on Facebook. So hi to everyone. So Giulio, could you start showing us the operation required?
Yeah. So normally the operation starts removing both upper and lower covers, because you have more space to work, because you have to operate upper side because you have to physically remove the power supply, and lower side because there are the screws keeping it tight to the chassis. So here you have the service power supply, the interface card where all the signals are managed inside for the equipment, voltage, current, all the measures are transferred to the bias card and the panel card. But in order to remove the power supply and or the PFC, you have to remove those, because the screws are hidden below. So first of all, when you do such things, please disconnect the equipment from the AC line and leave it rest for at least 15 minutes, because there are dangerous voltage inside, especially the PFC. It remains charged, and his output is 360 volt DC, so it's a big shock, and you could measure its output with a voltmeter and wait until you have like 50 volts, or maybe less, or maybe zero. This could be better, because otherwise, if you touch it and discharge accidentally his capacitor, you will get a good hit, and it's no good.
So
okay?
you're saying to unplug the unit and wait 15 minutes and then work on it.
Yeah.
So do not unplug and just start working.
If the equipment was on, I mean,
okay.
If it's already off, no problem for a long time.
Okay, okay, that's a good tips.
Yeah. So I will start.
I do have a question. Why you are bringing your screwdriver and you're starting your own operation? Are those power supplies commercial power supplies, or are they manufactured by RVR?
No, absolutely not. Those are RVR engineered.
Okay, so it's a project
supplies
from RVR.
Yes.
So that's one of the big differences between other transmitter and our transmitter. So most of our units, especially from those powers up, they're having built in our own power supply. It
Yes.
means it's a specific project we develop and manufacture in our company. So they're specific power supply done for broadcasting. So it's something you're not gonna buy in any store. So they're specifically done to work in almost any condition.
Yes, exactly. So to do this, you need a screwdriver,
Okay.
a Phillips one, also a flat one,
Okay.
and if you want,
Could you show it to the camera?
yeah,
Okay. Great.
you need those two,
Okay. Okay.
and a hexagonal key, 2.5 millimeters, could be nice to have it. Also some other things, maybe to remove some pliers, and but also mostly for the screws. Okay.
Okay.
So I
how
will
long
start.
does it take the operation?
Well, let's say half an hour.
Okay.
Okay. First
It's
of all,
half an
so
hour.
okay, I will start here, removing.
Is it something that any technician could do, or
Yeah.
you need to have any kind of experience on power supplies and transmitters?
No. If you normally what I do is take pictures of the existing wires. So
Okay.
if you forget where they were inserted, so you could remember.
Okay. So it's another
Especially,
good tip.
yeah,
So taking picture of the actual wiring before
exactly.
disconnecting anything.
You see, for example,
Okay.
here at the output of the service power supply, there are many wires. Okay, in this case, they belong to the same voltage, no problem. But sometimes people, okay, oh, I forgot. But
Okay.
maybe people are not so, they don't know so much, deeply the equipment. So I
Okay.
know it, but maybe other people, oh, I don't remember where it was, this wire. So what I do? So
Okay.
I normally take picture with the phone because everyone has a phone,
Yeah.
so it's easier, okay?
Okay.
But that's my method, maybe. Okay, it's my advice. No,
Yeah.
no need to follow literally.
In the meantime, we have people from Iraq and from Peru. So al mismo tiempo tenemos personas nuevas conectadas acá en Facebook desde Perú and Irak. Y gracias por estar con nosotros también hoy mirando esta charla técnica. So thank you everyone for being with us today, talking about technical stuff. So we are looking, Giulio from our customer service department, in changing power supply inside TEX2000LIGHT, so our 2 kilowatt compact transmitter. So we were talking at the beginning of this live program about how powerful is the unit and how we designed the unit to work almost in any condition. So in very hot places and as well in very high mountains with very strong weather condition. So at this time we are looking at Giulio replacing the power supply, and he's saying it's something that probably most of the technical guys can do. One of the main tips he gave it's to take picture before starting disconnecting components, so more or less you know how to plug it back again. So Giulio, describe the operation.
Okay, now I'm removing the service power supply. You see those screws, 1, 2, and the other one below this card. Also this one. Those are the screws retaining the other things on the other side. The
Okay.
PFC and the power supply.
Okay.
Normally what I do, I remove also this plate because everything could be done almost. So if you have to remove only the PFC, you have to remove this also because the PFC touches this board. So having a small, you see like this one, it's plied, so he can't be removed because there is no room. So you have two things: remove this, and so remove the PFC, or remove both. So if you remove first the power supply, you have room to shift the PFC on the side and remove it.
Okay, so I know my question could sound very generic, but
Yeah.
my questions are from a non-technical side. I know we have many engineers following us that knows very well exactly what to do, but this video is made for all those people that are thinking to buy our units, or they're having a units and they never work on the units physically. So today we are putting our hands directly on a on a machine, on a 2 kilowatt unit, and we're gonna see exactly which are the operation to do in case you need to change a power supply and you do not want to bring back the unit to our distributor or to one of our like support centers we have all around the world. So of course I'm sorry to all the engineers that are following my like basic questions, but I'm always thinking that most of the people doesn't know exactly what to do, and they're not like trained engineer. So it's a very good time to spend with Giulio just to know as much as we can on the unit. So thank you also from Greece, like to who is watching from Greece and to French-speaking countries in Africa. So Aruba as well in the Caribbean. So thank you everyone. So thank you. So Giulio, what are you doing now?
Now I remove this plate, okay?
Okay.
So we have more room.
Okay, so you need space to operate, like to put
I
your
always
hands inside
prefer
the
to
unit.
have space, also because when I do this, I inspect also for dust and dirt.
Okay, how much is important to clean the unit
A lot.
time to time? So
A lot, because a cleaned equipment, it's more thermal efficient. I mean, because after some times, the dust remains on the heat sinks and on every surface it touches.
okay,
So more dust you have, more is probable when humidity go inside the equipment to create some sort of dirt, then causes damage, because it's conductive dirt.
and can we clean the equipment with like a fan or a blower?
Yeah, normally use a blower.
Okay,
The compressed air, the air compressor, sorry. I use this because it's more powerful to clean the dust. Okay, now I'm removing the interface card. So you see these two little wires. Those one are the wire controlled by the CPU, so and pass it through this card. They go, you see here, on the the surge box, and they control the main relay who's inside, who gives the energy to the PFC, to the big power supply chain. Okay.
okay,
So the service power supply is directly controlled by the front switch, but the other one are controlled by the panel card.
okay.
So when the equipment is
Para
on,
los amigos que no hablan inglés, este video, hoy día no hablamos de promociones o con distribuidores o clientes en el mundo. Hoy día miramos técnicamente mi colega Giulio del departamento de soporte técnico, a mirar cómo se cambian las fuentes de poder en un transmisor de 2 kilowatts de nosotros. This is a program, this is not a promotion, we are not going to sell anything, so today we are going to like focus on something really technical, just to be sure like all the people that are working with our units can understand the step-by-step on how to change the power supply. So which board is this one, Giulio?
this one is the interface board,
Okay,
where it's like the heart of the equipment. I mean, all the signals pass here and they are distributed to the panel card or maybe to the bias card on the other side. And you see those flats cable go to the panel card, and these one go to the back to the main card where the exciter is, and the telemetry card.
okay.
I will remove also.
So later on I'm going to ask you something about telemetry and about the rear connection on the unit.
Yeah. In general, when you let's start again. In general, when you do service on this equipment, the expert one, they know where to connect the flat cables, but you see you have all 16 poles connector, and it's easy to get wrong. So take picture, or maybe write a note, something, write a number on the cable so you know exactly where they have to go, because if you insert the cable in the wrong place, you could give wrong voltage to section of the equipment, they will burn. Okay, The same thing also for the panel card, but it's not for today, I mean, okay?
Okay.
I will disconnect also this one because I have to make room.
So while you are doing this operation, I'm going to explain to the people that are connecting to our social media platform now. We're gonna show you today how to replace a power supply. So we are with Giulio Becciani from our customer service department here from the headquarters in Italy, and Giulio is showing us how to change components inside the unit in a 2 kilowatt transmitter, the TEX2000LIGHT. We discussed with Giulio as well on how much is important maintenance, how much is important to clean and keep clean the unit. So Giulio, which is the next step?
Next step is to free the two things. I mean, you see those 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Those screws are for the PFC. 1, 2, and 3 are the screws of the power supply. Okay. So normally for example, let's remove the power supply.
So later you have to turn the unit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So people could see.
So you are removing the screws that are holding the power supply on the other side of
PFC, the power factor corrector. So it's
Okay.
the same procedure, I mean.
Okay.
You see, the screws are very long.
Yeah.
M4, if I remember well, or MF.
You were right in saying we need to take picture. So I don't know anything on the technical side on the unit, and for sure, if I had to work on the unit, I should take picture before, like starting removing screws and components, just to remember how to get back to to a complete unit. I have a question. Do we have available schematics, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, yes.
So people can ask for schematics, and we can give schematics on the different side of the unit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with the PFC, okay? Then we could repeat because... Okay, let's turn the equipment.
Great. Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
many stuff. What do we have?
You see, the PFC now is free.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
So that this is the spare parts like people is going to receive if he's going to ask for a PFC.
Yeah, I will remove it so I could show you, okay?
Okay.
So what you have to do? You have to remove here, you see. Sorry, I turn it.
Okay.
Okay. Here, you see those two wires?
Yes.
This is the PFC output where you have 360 volt DC. The thing I said I told you before. So pay attention and measure it because those voltage are very harmful. Because the big capacitor remains charged for few minutes. So when you go and remove the wires, you could do a short circuit. So you
so you're talking about the black cable and the red cable?
The red one, yes.
Okay.
Black cable is the negative, red one is the positive. You see, this cable goes directly to the power supply input here.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's why we need to wait a little before working on the unit. So
yeah, if it was on, yes. If it was off, no problem. I mean, 15 minutes, it's okay to discharge the capacitors. Okay.
Okay.
So take a picture of this because I got confused also in the early times. You see, this one is the control for the power supply. So when the PFC is failing and you have a problem, he shuts down the power supply with this connector. Okay, those this wire, the blue one, goes here. And
so the blue one, if something goes wrong, interact with the power supply.
Yes, it says to the power supply, "I'm not working good. Shut down."
Okay, so it's something to let the unit like safe, just to, like in case
not safe, but maybe if the power supply it's not working good, maybe the voltage is low, and the risk is to harm. Is to have a breakdown of the power of the PFC.
Okay.
So he says to and he's giving power, for example, and he's shutting down the main power supply to avoid to damage himself after a while. I mean, okay. So it's a four-way connector, and this one goes to the lower two. Okay. Maybe people will take pictures and
just to reconnect in the same position.
Exactly.
Okay.
This one is secured by the ground terminal.
So thank you everyone for being with us today for this technical program live here on Facebook and YouTube. So thank you so much. Gracias a todos por estar con nosotros hoy día está mucha gente desde las Américas, desde Asia, desde África. So there's people from everywhere in the world, from Africa, from Europe as well, from North America. So thank you for being with us. Giulio from customer service today is showing us how to replace in the proper way the power supplies in a TEX2000LIGHT. It's our 2 kilowatt unit transmitter. So Giulio is giving all the tips and tricks to operate, to maintain the unit at its best. So that's why we need to pay attention to all those procedures, because it's showing very interesting things and very important things to people that are interested in changing and swapping the power supply by himself without passing to our customer service we have worldwide. So Giulio, what's next?
Now it's free. I removed the input,
Okay.
I removed the output and the link between them, so I could remove it.
Okay.
You see, this one is a single piece, has not to be separated unless, oh sorry, I was out the camera. This one is a single piece. It has not to be separated from the heatsink unless you want to repair it, and that's another thing. But if you want to remove it from the lower side.
But if someone has this piece, like anyone to replace it under warranty, it has to be complete.
Exactly.
No one has to touch it.
About the warranty,
Okay.
if you ask for warranty for a piece, it will be sent, no problem, but you don't have to dismantle the
Any
original
parts.
one.
Okay.
So if it's broken, it's burned, no problem. You will send back the piece as removed. No,
Okay.
no inspections, no removing cards, nothing, because we have to inspect what happened.
Okay, so this is an important information. If something is broken and the unit is under warranty, do not touch anything. Just send us back to us. Contact your customer service department close to you. It could be in the Americas, it could be in Africa, it could be in Asia, but just contact a local customer service department and they're gonna give you all the information on how to ship it back to us, and we're going to replace with a new piece if it's under warranty, but do not open or dismantle anything.
I mean the spares.
Yeah, the
of
spares,
course,
of
the equipment must be opened.
Yeah.
Okay, what I was saying before, you see here, that's a MOSFET. You see the small thing below him. It's a isolator. So those isolator works because when you put them new, they are pressed and squeezed, and they ensure the isolation correctly. If you remove the two pieces, there is the risk, especially when the equipment is old, I mean, it has worked, and some dust it's inside, because I could assure you here, you will have a lot of dust and dirt also here,
Yeah.
and also here because the air flows, and you have a high risk that dust go on the heatsink when you remove the other component. So when you put it in place, where the isolator have to be placed, you will have also some intruders, let's say like that,
Okay.
and they will be squeezed between the isolator and the MOSFET and the heatsink, so they will make a hole in the isolator, causing the problem. Because if there is an isolator, that means the component must not touch the heatsink, because
Okay.
it's electrical.
So everything has to
isolation.
be super clean. So we cannot have
No,
dust
I
in
mean,
between.
if you want to do it, no problem. But in a lab, when you dismantle everything, clean
Okay.
everything, not leave the heatsink inside the dirty
Okay.
equipment. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
This one.
Just I do have a question from a client, and
Yeah.
he's asking if the power supply, it's the same power supply used on a 500 watts. So if it's a general power supply.
No, this
Okay.
one is used here, and was used also on the 5 kilowatt, the other module.
Okay.
And for the, let me see, no, the the 1 kilowatt light use another power supply, and
So
the
there's
2.5
no, like,
use
there's
another
no
one.
common power supplies.
No, it was.
Just in some units.
It
but
was in
not
the past, but having changed to the LDMOS technology, so
Okay.
to achieve more to have a better performance and better efficiency on the for the transmitter, we had to increase the currents, so we had to change some model of the power supply. So they are different for each equipment, unfortunately.
Okay, so in case of fault, they need to ask us what kind of power supply, or they need to look
Yeah,
at the
they have-
schematics or in the unit.
They have to, normally when you ask for something, say I have this equipment and this is the serial number. Because that's the second question we do most. Because people say, okay, I have TEX2000LIGHT with something broke, okay, but I need the serial number because I could identify what's inside.
Okay.
Because, for example, could be in the past we used a different kind of spare, so I have to know what to propose to the
So
customer.
the serial number of the units, it's very important to understand what kind of components the unit has inside, depending on the year of production. Okay, we have people from Gran Canaria. Hi, Juan Gustavo González, gracias por estar con nosotros, y también a Olivier Casanova y a mucha gente que se está conectando hoy día. Y gracias por estar con nosotros. Estamos mirando y acá cómo se puede hacer el reemplazo de una fuente de poder en un transmisor de 2 kilowatts.
Okay, if you want, I could proceed
absolutely.
with the power supply. Okay. Okay, we'll turn it again. Okay. So the last screws are here. One for the power supply. Two.
Oh, we have to say hello as well to Pop22 in Greece, our distributor in Greece. So, hi guys, thank you for being with us today, and thank you for the amazing job you are doing in Greece, and for all the relationship built in all those years. They are as well like the local customer service center for us in Greece, in Athens. So, you are turning the unit. So, what's next?
What's next is to disconnect the wiring of the power supply, because you see it's free also. This one is free, but I leave it here because otherwise he could fall and pull all the wires. Okay, I will leave it this one because it goes only to the PFC and we already removed it.
Okay.
So you have two main connections. This one is the output, the 50 volt output, and the other one you see here on this card, that's the all the control connections. So if you normally, I will remove the big one first. I suggest to use this one. It's 6 millimeters, because they are very, very tightened. So the risk is to turn the screwdriver and make the spacer turn instead of only the screw. Okay. So I keep it like this and remove.
So in general, they are kind of basic operation. We just need to be very patient.
There are no adjustments to be made. So you put everything in place and it will work.
Okay. We do have a person, Eric, que habla español y que nos pide cómo se llama la fuente. Eric, estamos mostrando ahora cómo se cambia la fuente de poder en un transmisor de 2 kilowatts. El cambio de los MOSFET lo mostraremos otra vez en un otro video. Hoy día nos enfocamos en la fuente porque es un tema que está bastante común en todo el mundo. So I was explaining to Eric that was typing us on Facebook how we can show the change of the power supply and as well for the MOSFET. So we cannot change the MOSFET today. We're just focusing on the power supply, since it's something very common that many clients are asking us on how they can do it by themselves.
Okay. So that's the only connection, the last connection, sorry. You see, that's the control cable. It's 8-way. I use this one. It's better because otherwise you could bend the pins, you see.
So the pins are delicate?
Not delicate, I mean they are small, so if you turn the connector when you remove it, because you pull it strongly, the risk is you move the hand is not a...
They can fold.
Yeah, and move this one, this one. The last one is the earth screw. Okay. I will
So
put it
I'm
in.
sorry for my basic questions, but I'm assuming there's many like experienced engineer like watching this live program, but as well like many technician that needs to know like something in depth, something they don't know from the past. So that's why I'm pointing like many questions to Giulio.
Okay. Okay, I'm done. Anyway,
Okay, so the power supplies
is removed.
both are
Okay,
gone.
the last thing is this one. The inputs, two fasten connectors.
Okay.
They are tight because all the current flows here.
Okay.
That's all. You get the new one and redo the procedure backwards.
Okay. And you like
Okay.
return to
If you're
mount
not
up.
sure, you could always send us a picture of this label. Every
Okay.
power supply or PFC, small or big, no problem, has a label. So do not send us the name of the PCBs, but send us the
Okay.
label, because
Okay.
they could differ. So this is the spare, okay?
Okay. So any like parts or any power supply has this label, and people can send a picture of this label to one
Yeah,
of
for
our
example,
customers.
this one is the service
Or-
power supply. You see, there's a label,
Okay.
like this one. The PFC has his label, this one.
Okay.
So everyone is labeled.
Okay. Okay. So in case of that, like people can send us this picture, and we can retrieve the correct spare parts.
Yeah,
the
with
correct power
picture,
supply.
with picture you avoid a lot of mail exchange.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Could you show us what you have in the back of this unit, just to have an idea on the connection, and you can explain us
Yep.
a little bit about audio connection, what kind of
Making some
output. So
making some space. Sorry.
yes.
Okay.
Gracias a todos los amigos que nos están mirando también desde América Latina y también de Norteamérica y que hablan español. Hoy día hacemos
Okay.
este Facebook Live en inglés. And Giulio now is going to show us what kind of inputs the unit has, what kind of features, what kind of connection. And I do have a question as well on telemetry. So, well, starting from the top, I assume we have the power, right?
The top or the right,
Yeah.
looking at the equipment in the right position,
Yeah.
in a flat position. So those are the two fuses, the main fuses for the AC line. They are 25 amps, 10 millimeters by 38 millimeters.
Okay.
And this is the main AC socket. Okay, it's quite self-explaining. Then you have this one is the modulation zone. Okay, here on the back you see here, this one is the main card block.
Okay.
So where all the audio is input, and the only output it has is the RF.
Okay,
At
so
a
one
small
client
level.
can order the audio part, right?
Yeah, the nice thing is the audio block is the same for all TEX equipment, starting from the 30 watt to the 3.5 kilowatt.
Okay.
It's always the same. So if you are unsure about the problem and you have another equipment, you could swap them, no problem.
Okay, so if I have a radio network and I do have like many transmitter from the same TEX series, I can buy these spare parts and this common
Exactly.
for all the models.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So here you have left and right inputs in XLR or mono and MPX or mono.
Okay.
Here you have the MPX input and the two SCA inputs for the service for RDS, for example,
Yeah.
if you want. That's the pilot output. If you have an external RDS coder, you could sync it with this output. Okay.
Okay.
This one, the small hole is the carrier frequency adjust. So if your instrumentation gives you an error about the frequency shift of the carrier, you could adjust it a little bit, of course, with this trimmer.
Okay.
This one is the pilot level. Normally we adjust it for 6 kHz 75 for the maximum, for
Yeah.
100% modulation. But if you want, you could adjust it.
Okay. What kind of telemetry are available as option in the unit?
So we have two kinds of telemetry with GSM modem
Okay.
and the web.
Okay. I
Telemetry.
know our web telemetry allows you to control the unit also if you don't have like electricity in the unit itself, right?
I mean, yeah, because both GSM and the complete web telemetry have a battery inside and a battery charger, so they are meant to last for 7-8 minutes, just in time to give you indication about the fault. Because normally, if you have a telemetry and the energy, you have an energy loss, you will never know, because it's
so
not sending you alarm messages.
Can send you messages, and alerts.
It could be email. Normally, there are email for the web telemetry, or SMS for the GSM. Or if you use SNMP, he will send you some traps to say, I have a fault for SNMP users.
Okay, good to know. So your suggestion is that what you were showing us today, it's something that like most of the technicians could do, but they need to do it carefully. So if they know how to manage a transmitter, so they need to have a little bit of experience.
At least with electricity, I mean, because normally, so for example,
so we are not encouraging anyone to do it by himself if they are not.
A typical example is this one, the PFC. If you have the AC line branched, and doesn't matter if it's on or off from the front panel. If you touch here and touch the chassis, you will get 120 volts AC.
So dangerous.
So I got them so many times, so I could say. Could be harmful. I mean, also about the output, because it's 360 volts.
So very good tips. So very useful. We're showing us how to replace power supply in a TEX2000LIGHT today, a 2 kilowatt transmitter. So very interesting operation, very easy, but like you need to have a kind of experience in electricity, and Giulio was showing you as well some tips when you are repairing and replacing those parts. We were talking about maintenance, so thank you so much, Giulio. Is there something we need to know in general on the units, on the maintenance? So you suggest to clean it every 6 months, or just to have a good air condition in the transmitter side?
Well, having a good temperature and a cleaned air is the best thing, and I suggest to clean them every 6 months, depending also on how is the shelter, because if you have a shelter like a kitchen, I mean, no dirt, no dust, so there's no need every 6 months to do service. But normally we suggest to change the fans every 4 years, just to maintenance, because you could reach the end of life of the fans. I have equipments who with 14 years, then the fans still go, but that's our suggestion. I mean, if you don't want to have the risk to have a broken fan, that's all.
So I want to thank you for the time you spent today in showing us this technical operation on the 2 kilowatt unit. We're going to have several live programs dedicated to our units, technically with you, just to put our hands directly. And so we were having a lot of questions regarding MOSFET, so probably in a couple of weeks we're going to take a look on the MOSFET side of this unit, or maybe other units. So we produce since 40 years units from 30 watt to 60 kilowatt. Today we decide to show a typical unit we market worldwide, a 2 kilowatt one. So thank you, Giulio, for being with us. It has been a pleasure. So I do remember everyone, we have customer service department everywhere in the world. We have distributors that are handling as well, like local services with spare parts. Remember, when you write for assistance, to let us know directly the serial number of the units, the date of production, and the exact model. So Giulio and his team is gonna take a look on what we did on your unit when we were producing it, and we know exactly what kind of spare parts you need. Gracias a todos los amigos que nos han escuchado desde las Américas y desde Europa también, y de Asia, de África. Hoy día ya tenemos mucha gente conectada y que estaba mirando cómo se reemplazan partes adentro de nuestro transmisor, fuentes de poder en un transmisor de 2 kilowatt. Nos vemos la semana entrante, regresando a visitar distribuidores y clientes en otro lado del mundo. We're gonna, next week, get back flying virtually to other countries in the world, talking with clients and distributors. And then in a couple of weeks, we're gonna talk back on technical side on how we can maintain our units and tips and tricks on how to keep running our units at its best. Thank you so much. See you next week. And yes, of course, if you have a question, you can go on our website, www.rvr.it, and you can type us any question as well for pricing and availability in your region. Thank you, and see you next week.